Okay. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Let me see. Lost one of my windows, so I'll go ahead and put that up while we're waiting for people to come into the house. Okay. Let's see. Yep, we're streaming. Good to go. Good to go. Okay. This is still a little new to me. Sometimes I have little hiccups. Here's the agenda for today. As you can see, CPI is the big one on the block. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. All right. Happy Tuesday. Let's see who we got in the house. It's 8:16 right now. Today is May 12th. It's Tuesday. We're living in the rip of the century of AI stocks. And the markets, it's on thin ice, but it just keeps going up. It keep riding the wave. You keep having people coming into the party. So speaking of the party, let's go ahead and welcome everybody here who's in the house. Gileande is in the house. SK is in the house. Lynn is in the house. Ino is in the house. I'm sure that I got other people in the house, but I haven't figured out how to actually see everybody who's here without other than just the people who actually have added into the chat. So anyhow, it's good to see everybody. As soon as 8:17 comes around, you know that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get this party started. It's 8:17, so let's go ahead and let's talk about what's on the agenda for today. All right, so CPI, that's the big one for today. CPI, we're going to go over the pre-market report, straight to FinViz, try to get to the pre-market heat map, and then at 8:30, we're going to do that 2-minute candle that we often talk about when we have a major report reporting. Is CPI going to be a market mover? I mean, it could be. It really could be. I have a feeling that it's really anticipated. And so that even though I'm saying that the market is on thin ice, and you can see that, I have basically oil down here and I have CPI, and then AI is up here above the ice. And if it melts, AI is coming tumbling down. But, this actually could have a reverse effect when you think about it. It could actually put CPI on the top of that. And then AI actually is the one that melts the ice that CPI is standing on, because everybody's anticipating the market's already pulling back in the pre-market. So just want to mention that. And that's actually talked about in my pre-market report. Let's actually go straight to that and get started, because I'm constantly trying to figure out a way to streamline my process so I can get to some of your tickers, right? So that's why I move so fast. One of the things I think that would be beneficial to you is be active in the stream in regards to have some notes, make some notes as I'm going through these things, because I do point out a lot of things that end up moving during the day. And I have a lot of people tell me that they actually made some money off of it. And that's what I'm here to do, is to help you make some money. All right. So here's what's happened as of the 5 o'clock hour. And this is maintained. Oil has surged. Ceasefire talks have deteriorated. And the market's rotating. It's rotating. I wouldn't say necessarily hard, but it's rotating pretty decently. The NASDAQ futures are down. The Dow's flat. And HIM's actually cratered at 16% on Monday night earnings. So that was kind of interesting to see on HIM's. It was a little bit, and from my mind, a little unsuspected. So that's interesting. Here's your pre-market data. Basically, the market's down slightly. The VIX is up slightly. Crude is up. Gold and Bitcoin are slightly down, and energy is up. So there's the overview on the market. Pre-market movers, high volume. Intel continues to, be the ones that's running the day, and then Nvidia and Tesla. MU, that's not surprising. You know what? This one here actually is a standout to me. Right here, quantum. Maybe quantum is actually the next big play. So we need to take a look at that. Plug also, pay attention to Plug. Plug's got massive short squeeze opportunity. Gap downs, HIMS, ASTS, and Clean Spark. Okay. That really actually is down about 10% right now in the pre-market. macro backdrop, oil surges, semis are taking a little bit of a hit. We anticipated this. Yesterday, we talked about watch it, see if people are starting to leave the party. You know what? I don't know that they're necessarily that the party is actually coming to a dead end right now, but you are starting to see some people kind of like head to the door. Okay. Kim's craters, the rate and the dollar are tightening. Keep an eye on quantum. Quantum might be actually, I'm telling you, keep an eye on quantum. All right. So, and then in the earnings, you have the deep dives. Mara actually took a little bit of a hit down as well. So Mara's down 5% as a pre-market report. And you know what? This also, let's see here. Under Armour's flat. And that's about it. That's all we're going to do on the pre-market report. So you can get the pre-market report for free right now while it's in beta phase, and you can get it for 30 days for free. Go to stockchartistry.com to sign up, okay? Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the FinViz because it gives us the best overview. Are we still sitting the same way that we were in the pre-market report? And basically we are. Oil's up. Stocks are basically slightly down. The VIX is slightly up. Interest rates slightly up. The dollar is actually slightly up. Gold and silver taking a little bit of a hit. Silver had a really nice day yesterday. Your other metals are down. So not surprising with any of that. Let's see what happened yesterday. So yesterday was basically, they ripped it up. They went sideways. They ripped it up a little bit more and then went sideways. That was in the Dow. Then over here on the NASDAQ, it ripped up and went sideways. No pullback. Rip up, sideways, slight pullback. And then in the Russell, kind of had it was a nothing burger, right? So let's take a look at the trading activity for yesterday. Basically pretty flat when you're looking at it. When you think about it, it makes sense because I'm thinking that really we're waiting for people to see what's going on with the pre-market. NVIDIA actually continued to consolidate stronger. These stocks here, which actually I'm looking for them to pull back some, they actually rose yesterday. That was kind of surprising to me. Got to keep an eye on CAT over here because CAT's also a AI play. And then Tesla continues to have some strength moving up to the 450 mark. Is Tesla going to make it all the way to 500? Guys, let me know in the chat. You think Tesla's going to make it to 500? Your software stocks, mixed reviews. Okay, so that's it for yesterday. Got a little bit of a feel for how the market traded yesterday. Let's see what else we got on our list. The market overview and the dashboards. All right, I got a pleasant surprise for you. At least for me, I think it's pleasant. I've actually created the lists over here, so the dashboards are showing on the side. And I'm going to change your screen view so that you'll see the different dashboards today. And I believe that these dashboards are incredibly helpful to you. If you have a screenshot capture thing, this actually would be very beneficial to you, maybe to capture these screenshots as I'm going through them. What you'll get is you'll have the mark right here shows you what's happening right now. The percentage from the open, that's what happened from yesterday's regular trading hours open. It's a pretty important number. The percentage for the week, as the week accumulates, this will become more and more important. Then you have your volume right here. And then you have your price action by 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, and weekly time frames right here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. The CPI is coming out in 6 minutes. I have my timer set right here. It's going to ding us when it comes out. We're going to mark the 2-minute high and the 2-minute low. As Alvaro constantly likes to state, the leader of the bilingual stock market channel himself, the CPI, as it is often called, the CPI comes out in 6 minutes. So we'll actually take a look at that. So the markets, they're having a small pullback right now when you're looking at it. Right here, you can see that the SPY's got a little bit of a pullback into the trend line right here. So we have this little faint trend line. That's an hourly trend line. It's pulled right back into it. And you got the same kind of action going on with the Qs and a little bit with the Dow. But the Dow seems like it picked up a little bit of a bounce off of this pivot right here in this moving average. So the Dow is actually, when you're looking at the Dow, actually, it looks like it's a It's in a triangle consolidation. These triangle consolidations are typical for when you're actually having major numbers coming out like that. So you got triangle consolidation right there. And actually, when you look at it, this is actually a triangle consolidation, but it's a triangle consolidation. I'm talking about right here, talking about this. It's triangle consolidation towards the top. You see that? So basically, it's like a bull flag, right? So anyhow, that's what's going on. Triangle consolidations everywhere is what we're looking at. Triangle consolidation here on IBIT. I wouldn't call gold necessarily a triangle consolidation. That's trying to actually have an up channel, but that up channel is actually a bear flag that we pointed out before. And then TLT looks like it's kind of breaking down a little bit out of the triangle consolidation. Are they anticipating, or is somebody anticipating that CPI/CPI will not be lying today? You know what? It's minus food and energy, and food and energy are actually the big deal, the big things that actually are driving inflation higher. I've always hated that they took that out. I think they took that out in the Carter years, but you know, this isn't a democratic play. This is just, they say they took it out because it's too volatile, but you know what? Food and energy is really what everything's about. That's the stupidest thing in the world. Can't stand that they took it out. All right, so anyhow, that's what we're looking at. Markets are actually consolidating ahead of this number. There's not a lot of things to really look at in regards to that number. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at the dashboard over here to the left. And so you've got your crude oil is actually still up. 3%. It's up in every single time frame, except for it's coming back a little bit in this 1 minute. Bitcoin is actually down, but it's up slightly on the week, up 1%. Natural gas is up 34% for the week. It's down today. I think basically this other stuff is just kind of flat in a way, but you do see that, like, you know what? I think the area that's going to pay the most if the CPI ends up not being a lie or ends up actually coming out hot, it's going to be NQ, because NQ's had the biggest run, right? And maybe the Dow actually will suffer the least. So maybe we're getting a glimpse at that right now. We do see that silver is actually kind of flat to down right now. So maybe silver is actually going to be doing okay, because silver had a nice run yesterday. When we look at the S&P sectors right here, the sectors are following suit. You can see it's a little bit protectionistic. XLP and XLU is actually also up a little bit in the pre-market. The SMH is the one that's going to suffer, so that's the one that's down right now. It's anticipating that. Let's take a look at the extended sectors, because I do believe this actually gives us the best view into things. In the extended sectors, not surprising to see that we have the USO is actually leading the way. Energy, protection, and then the rest of that's flat. GDX is down, IBIT, XLK, Freeport McMoran, that's your copper, you know, TAN, IGV. IGV, we're still looking possibly for IGV to have some bounce action there if it ends up putting in some kind of bottom. Also, new to my list is cyber. I have cybersecurity now pulled out because I'm thinking maybe cybersecurity actually could end up being the next area that could, you know, run up. So that is a possibility. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at, let's see here. Where did I want to go next? That's a markets overview with the dashboards. That's just the overview portion of it. We also have on your list, this is my surprise for you today, the most active stocks. You know what? This is something I haven't been going over, but if we're going to do a pre-market show, man, going over the most active stocks is where it's at. You know, Intel is constantly leading the way nowadays. This used to be owned by NVIDIA for like 2 years. NVIDIA is still a major player, but, you know, this is where you have in the millions. Okay, I have that. I have it built so it's built down so I can actually show the rest of the time frame charts here. And you have Intel on the week, it's up 3.62%, but it's down right now. It's down substantially, down 5%, right? So it's doing some give back right now. And then you have that Plug Power. Look at the volume that's going into Plug Power. And this one here has about a 25% short float squeeze. So put that in your memory banks because that might be one to actually take a look at. It's a $3.9 stock, so it's a low one. Irene has been one that has been very interesting to me. It took a major hit this week, I think on earnings, if I remember correctly, but it's also a volume leader. This is sorted by your volume leaders, so you can see your volume leaders. This is one of the areas where you might want to screenshot this, right? So also now we have then your pre-market gap ups right here and your pre-market gap downs. Your gap ups are sorted us descending from highest to lowest. Your gap downs are sorted ascending from lowest to highest, right? So who do we have? QUBT. I believe that is a quantum play, if I know correctly. Wendy's. It's really fascinating to see Wendy's. I love Wendy's, man. So maybe Wendy's is actually a good play on the protectionist side, okay? SE Seagate, I believe they're reporting earnings maybe this morning or maybe they already reported earnings. And the bell has sounded. So it is time. It's time to take a look at the SPY and see what's going on with the CPI/CPI, right? So let's turn this onto the SPY chart. SPY, SPY. We're going to go over here into this time frame, and I'm going to change it to a 1 minute time frame. And let's just watch this one. I do believe we will see some kind of movement. And honestly, I've told you before, if you mark the high and you mark the low, you will not regret that, right? So we're going to mark the high when it comes in. It looks like this might be the high right there. So I'm going to mark it right now. We can always change it. And that's 736.9. I'm going to actually color it green. And I'm going to call it CPI high. CPI high. All right. And I'm going to actually set an alert on that. If it goes over it, I want to know about it. At or above? No, just above. All right. And we got to wait for this low to print. And there you go, the low printed. And there it is right there. And they're trying to bounce off that low right now as we speak. So I don't know what that number is, but apparently the market is not liking the number. Honestly, the number does not matter. What matters is the reaction to the number. CPI low, going to color that red. And I'm going to set an alert on that. Well, yeah, I'm going to set an alert on it. It's probably going to alert me while I'm in this meeting, but I'll reset that alert once the regular trading hours actually start. So that's our high and that's our low. Our low right now is 735.44. Our high is 736.9. Just for curiosity's sake, I do like to actually go look at the numbers. However the market decides to interpret the numbers, that's how they're going to interpret it. So the CPI, it says, okay, yeah, it came in hot, just 1 percentage point hotter than expectations, but it also came in hot month over month. That does mean something, month over month. 0.4 times 12 is a 4.8 over the entire year. 2.7 came in 2.8. You know these guys are liars. You know they're liars, right? Because it's called the CPI. Not just for this administration. It's been the CPI forever. So, okay. Well, we know it's hotter than what they actually say it is. So there you go. While we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at, we're going to go to the SPY. Let's go ahead and look at max pain for the SPY. We got the high node right here is 708, but we also have one right here at 723. Max pain is coming in at 725 for today. And then what are we looking at for the week this week? By the way, next week is OPEX. So next week we could actually see a serious pullback if we don't see it this week. Max pain for the week. Wow. Max pain is 703. We get down to 703. That's going to be quite an interesting move. 690, 700. Those are your put walls. Your call wall is 710. You get into this area right here, 700 and 710. We're probably going to get boxed in there, right? So that would actually be the thing that I would be thinking about. All right, what are we looking at here? I'll clean this up for you. I like dark reader because I can actually save my eyes, but we're in extreme greed on the momentum and the fear, right? So extreme greed there. Greed here, greed on the breath. Well, not greed, neutral on the breath. That's because it's very thin, right? Extreme greed on put call options. That might change today. We'll see what happens. Extreme fear on the junk bonds, though. Extreme fear. That's interesting. Extreme greed on safe haven demand. However, we can, once again, stay. We're not really all that extended here. I've seen it actually stay in this level here for the longest time. So anyhow, that's what's going on with that. Let's go back over here and let's get on to the charts, okay? The time is 8:35. Let's go over here and let's move back into our SPY. In my retro real quick, I want to actually show you something on the SPY. I've left these, well, you're not going to see it on the daily, but you can see on this daily time frame chart right now on the 24-hour, we're really just pushing into the middle of this range right here, this trading range right here, this upward channel. And it's actually just testing the bottom of that. And it's also testing the bottom of a trend line that I drew in on the hourly. So what I want to do is I actually want to go to the hourly right now and not even play around. And I want to show you why I drew this, because what you have going on, and you'll see this a lot of times in markets. And what I do when I'm trying to actually show you things, I'm trying to actually teach you how to fish and not just give you the numbers. So what I want to show you is that you have right here what I call a pivot. And you get these pivots a lot of times where the market actually decides like, okay, that is my anchor point. And this actually turned out to be an anchor point. Really, well, okay, you know what? It's actually really more right about here. This right here is about where your anchor point is, right? So let me show you that right now. So what you have going on right here is we had a trend line right here that it was honoring right there. When it broke that trend line, then it said, okay, where's your next trend line? From that point on, this became the trend line, right? And then from this point, this became the trend line right there. Now we just broke that trend line. So then this right here now becomes our new trend line. And so that actually got drawn in from, actually I got it drawn in from right here. It's actually now hitting it down on the major trend line from back over here. So it's actually, it still has this anchor point right here, but it's actually shifted to here. Now, when you lose this trend line, you're coming down into these areas right here. Do you see how you find a new support off of this though, right? So once you actually lose, this is your major trend line right here. Once you lose this, then you're actually coming down into these next levels. And that's how you find your levels. So that's what we're looking at right there. So here's your snapback. Your snapback high right now is looking like it is the 730, say the 730, 731 area is your snapback and your pivot area. So I would look for that. You also got your 200 period moving average coming right into the bottom of this at 728. So that's an important number. Moving over here to the pre-market high and the pre-market low. Look at that. Wow, look at that price action, you guys. So it's actually just gave us an alert that it's moved over. It's crossed over the it's crossed over. No, it has not crossed over my high right here. Okay, I have alerts set for crossing over pre-market highs and pre-market lows, but that's my high number right there. So it gave us a first move as the fake move play, and now it's ripping up to the upside. You know what it's saying? It's saying, I don't care about inflation. You want to know what? AI is deflationary. This thing is actually only going to last temporarily. Eventually, oil is going to go back. You know, there's this war is not going to go on forever. The Strait of Hormuz is going to open. Whatever they're saying, this is my point. Okay, don't look at only the numbers. Look at the market reaction. Look at this incredible V-shaped recovery on this. That is a major buyer. Like, go ahead, come into my number, come into my pivot, and I'm buying. Okay, there's your numbers right there. All right, we get up and over. We already talked about it. I said, and it's in the pre-market report, be careful because they could flip you on its head and rip you higher. And the shorts are going to be scrambling to cover. And the longs are actually going to be long again. So here we go. We're long again. The market's bullish until otherwise. Buy the dip mentality is in power. It is in focus. Okay? So now, are the regular hour traders going to make the pre-market traders pay? You know what? They love to do that as well. Let's get back to, we got our numbers on the SPY. Let's get back to what's going on, what's moving in the pre-market. Nothing has changed in regards to our high volume traders. They're all pretty much the same. Poets in here. Poets one's very interesting. It's up almost 30% for the week. Micron, it just continues to rip. And it's pulling back a little bit, but look at this. It's up in the more recent time frame. So it got pushed down and it actually got bought. You see how beneficial this is, this dashboard? So the buyers bought the dip on MU. They bought the dip on INOQ. They sold the rip over here on VT, whatever the heck that is. So QBT, they're buying. They actually pulled back a little bit on QBT and bought it. Wendy's is pulling back a little bit. There might be a buying opportunity off that. So you can see how I use this dashboard. What are we looking at? HIMS. HIMS actually looks like it's actually picking up some momentum here. Look at that on the 5, 15 minute and hourly, starting to turn around. Clean Sparks actually looks like it might be turning around as well. QBTS, is that a turnaround? I don't know. Mara looks like it's turning around. Intel. Soundhound turning around. Lots of green in the 5 and the 15 minutes, kind of following this rip right here. Look at that. Very interesting. All right, let's go to earnings, guys. The earnings dashboards. This is what I set up for you today. Tell me if you guys like where I've kind of gone with this, where I could actually get you more information as quick as possible. So these are what I'm showing you right now. This is the people that reported earnings last night. The company's reporting earnings last night. Here's who's reporting earnings before the open today, and then here's who's reporting earnings after the close. This is all sorted by us ending from highest to lowest on all of the columns, okay? And then you have, of course, your price action and your volume. So we do have some major movers from last night. HLIT, they're up big time. A lot of these names I don't know. Halo is up big time. I don't know that. Is that the game? I don't know. Clean Spark, that's the one I do know, and that one is actually down from earnings, but it's up for the week, and it looks like maybe it might be trying to catch a bounce. HIMS is very interesting. HIMS has been a runner and a retail trade favorite. For the open today, is anybody moving that I recognize? Seagate right here. It's up 9%. So I don't know if they've reported earnings already. We're already having a pre-earnings run-up. So I'm not sure about that, but we could take a look at some of these. JD is reporting earnings. By the way, Trump is actually going to China tomorrow. You know what? A lot of people are expecting bad news out of that. Looks like United Under Armour is reporting earnings. This stock has just been getting crushed for the longest time. This stock is a broken stock, man. It's down, 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 and down, further down. And then after the close today, anything that's like jumping out at me, it looks like the same names. Yeah, this one's not really updating, so not too much for that. All right, guys, that is what I had going on in regards to wanting to make sure I looked at the tickers for you. So it's 8:43 right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to throw it on the 20 stocks that I actually kind of keep an eye on the most. And then what I'm going to do is we're just going to take a quick look at that. And then I want to go ahead and I want to start doing some stocks that you guys want to look at. So you tell me what you want to look at, okay? Because I think that's actually what this is all about. This is about you and not me. All right. So looks like Apple's kind of flat, right? Apple's flat. AMD it's had a nice run up, but it's got a consolidation range. So AMD actually, that looks pretty good if it stays above that snapback. That snapback is looking at 440. So stays up above that, it's looking good. It looks like Amazon's trying to give back some right here. So yeah, Amazon, we came out of this trade range right through here. So let me go ahead. I'm going to maximize all of these. We're just going to run through them as fast as possible. Amazon is trading down out of this. It needs to get up over top of this, over top of that right there. So if Amazon gets over top of that, maybe it can actually have a go higher on Amazon. So that's what I'm looking at on Amazon. Next stock. Boeing. Boeing's trading sideways. Very nice up action right here. But then you got your sideways range. Needs to get out of that sideways range to be up. Okay, over 242 is bullish. Under 236, it looks like you probably got more downside. Bloom Energy, really in a consolidation range. Nothing to see here. Coin needs to get up over top of this 218, guys. And the reason why is because that is major right here. This is that's a weekly trend line right there. It needs to get over top of that. It's had a very nice run up right here. I love the run up right there. I love the momentum. It's having a very, very strong consolidation range right through here when you're looking at it. So I do like this consolidation range right here. This is exactly what you want to see. But you really also want to see it get up and over and then go longer. Okay, so that's what you're looking at for coin. Google. Love to see Google get down at 380. 380 and even right around here, 375, 380. Testing that prior high right there. Look at that. That's a prior high right here. Testing that prior high. Retesting this prior low, get into this range right here. Then on top of that, you also have this uptrend channel right here. Man, I think that actually might be a buy. Watch your price action there. If Google can get down there, that would actually be awesome, wouldn't it? All right, what are we looking at here? Hood. Hood's actually looking pretty good because when you're looking at it, it's actually broken out of this downtrend. We have a second leg breakout. And now actually, if it'll actually give us a third leg breakout right there, let's go ahead and drive into that and see what we got on Hood. So Hood, second leg breakout. What are we looking at right there? Pivot here. Let's get over top of this number right here, right? Let's get over top of that number right there. And it looks like it's trying to do it right now as we speak. What is that number? Get over top of that doji. 79.62. 79. Get over top of 80. Let's just call it 80. Get over top of 80 and hold 80, and I think you're long on Hood. You lose this snapback, you're coming down to the 200 period. The snapback 78.51, 847. See how many more stocks I can do. Intel. I'm gonna pull a regression channel on Intel. Right, you're gonna pull it from this spot right here. There's your regression channel on Intel. Give me another one right here. Give me some information. Intel. I like that one. That one I like. It's just been such a mover. Hold that. Let's hold this bottom right here. It's got to hold that bottom or we'll come down to the next snapback. All right. So you got to hold. You got to hold right here. You got to hold 123. Okay. If you don't hold 123, you're coming down to 120. Coming down to the bottom of this trend line, 121, and then 119. 119. And then you have a strong buyer over here at 117. So this 119, 117 area, wouldn't be surprised to see a spike below and then a buy up. Look, guys, they're buying this thing every single time somebody is buying this. So you got to respect that until it's broken. What are we looking at here for Meta? Meta is bearish in the long term, bearish in the short term. If I took this out to a weekly time frame chart, that's what you're seeing right here. This is the weekly time frame. It's down. It's down. It's in a slow walk down. But then on the hourly time frame chart, it's ripped down. And then on top of that, what did you have? You had a bear flag right here. Not an impulsive move out of the bear flag, just a kind of a little bit of a walk down. But you are seeing it's actually got a slow walk down. And so it's actually bearish, but it's maybe it's putting in a little bit of a bullish divergence right now. So what do we get on a bullish divergence? A bullish divergence usually breaks up a little bit higher and then it actually goes lower. Okay, just giving you the plan on that in the longer time frame. If I drive into this a little bit larger, you can see this is basically what you're looking at. You got that trend line right there, right? And then you also have a little bit of a bullish divergence in the time frame right now. This one here should go on your list. I like the way it has this really tight consolidation. That's producing energy. And so when it's doing that, it's producing energy. It's eventually going to bust out. If it busts out to the high side, I'm not sure how much room you get on that before you start meeting all of this overhead resistance, right? Right. But if you bust out to the downside, that could actually be pretty substantial. And you know what? These bearish falling wedges, they don't always, our bullish falling wedges, they don't always break out to the bullish side. When it hits 850, I'm going to stop my what I call my lightning round, and maybe next week tomorrow we'll actually just start a little bit further down in the list. Microsoft is sitting chopping you up right in the middle of the range. Honestly, I was trading Microsoft there for a while, but Microsoft it's actually kind of like on the downside of this trading range. It really needs to get up on the upside of this, okay, and then hold that upside, and then you could be bullish on Microsoft. Right now, Microsoft is actually a little bit bearish because it's on the downside of that. It's also underneath of this 200-period moving average, and it just can't seem to get any legs, guys. So Microsoft is not looking good, and right now it's tried to break that trend line, but it gave you no impulse move higher. It's actually down now on the next pivot down. It's actually just picking up the next trend line and kind of walking down. There's really no trade in Microsoft that I can see unless it breaks under 405. I believe it could be a quick trip there down to this next line right here, which is right around that, just under the 400 range. But 400 is that big round number. You know how the market makers love to actually steal money from the retail traders. They would love to probably do like that, then rip you back up and make you think you ended up missing the move. But I wouldn't be surprised to actually see Microsoft do this, because I think Microsoft, when we looked at it on the 5-wave Elliott move, it looked like it had more downside. I wouldn't be surprised for them to see do something like this and then rip you down. And regarding OPEX next week, this could be actually one of the ones that actually ends up losing their strength finally. MU, man, I am really looking forward to shorting this stock. I am looking forward to shorting this stock, but you know what? If you try to short this stock, you're going to eat it, because that's the way it is. And I'll tell you what, I lost $50 trying to short it yesterday. Why not? But you know what? If you keep trying to short it, it's gonna paper cut you to death. $50 here, $50 there. By the time you make your $500, you lost $50 10 times. But it is trading on the bottom end of that range right now. It does seem like it's losing momentum. You know, it is what it is, but honestly, there's so many people who want to get into this stock. It is saying that they are saying that this stock is actually cheap. You know, the market makers, they're pushing this stock big time. Okay, that's it. I want to actually go ahead and do your tickers. But before I do, I am actually going to do one that I wanted to show you today, and that is NVIDIA. Because NVIDIA is back on my bullish radar. So let me see here. It's not earnings, two tickers right here. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. So leave this on chart, take off active ticker. All right, you know what? I saved this as a 2-ticker chart for you. But I didn't save it. So I meant to save it is what I should say. All right, so my 2-ticker chart. Here we go. I can fix this in one shot. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. And here's what I want to do. I want to actually put, let's put MU over here. So this is what I want to do. I want to compare these two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this NVIDIA chart out to when we've actually started in this. All right, it's on the 4-hour time frame chart. We changed it to a daily. All right. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I have some really interesting here that I want to show you, okay? 4-year daily. That's what I want. 4-year daily, and we want to go to here. This one here, I'm going to change the same thing, 4-year daily, and I'm going to take it out to July so it matches the other one. We're going out to July, okay? Now, what I want to show you is, and this is something that you can do in Thinkorswim. If I use this trend line, you'll notice down here, right around here, it's going to show you the percentage, okay? So I'm going to actually go back here. I'm going to use this trend line. I'm going to click on it right here, and I'm actually going to take it to the top. And you guys see down there, it says 56.44%. So from July, NVIDIA has gone up 56.44%. Now, what I want to show you is this. Watch this. Now, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Let's create our circle so you can see it. All right. And I'm actually going to do the same thing on Micron. And look at this. Okay. So Micron now, whoops, wrong one. All right. Got to change this to this. There we go. So Micron right now has gone up from July to now. Okay. 718%. NVIDIA has gone up 50% since July. Micron's gone up 700%. Why am I showing you that? Okay, here's the reason why. All right. Because I believe now that money is starting to flow back into NVIDIA, and now that NVIDIA has finally actually put in this nice consolidation range right down through here, where we have all of these buyers, very strong buyers right in through here. This whole area right now has buyers. It has set up a base right here, right? That 200 base that I've been talking about. NVIDIA above 200 is a strong play, right? So what I am thinking is NVIDIA on a pullback is viable. NVIDIA is actually a swing long. NVIDIA going into earnings is probably where you want to position yourself. Keep an eye on NVIDIA, you guys. That's the reason why I've actually wanted to show you this. So that's my tip for today. I'm going to be watching NVIDIA. NVIDIA's back on my sell puts against NVIDIA list. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change my charts to the most active tickers just in case you guys end up wanting to actually take a look at that. And then what I'm going to actually do is we're going to go into your tickers. And I have on the list, if I'm looking to see right now, I have on the list PFE. Let's do PFE. I thought I did PFE yesterday. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. All right. PFE is, you know what? It's holding over top of that weekly downtrend line, so that's a good sign. I want to throw this on a weekly chart because it's actually showing that. Let's go ahead and maximize this out. I want to look at it on the weekly. I want to take off my studies. Guys, if you want to learn how to use Thinkorswim like this, I'm available for sessions. I got a bunch of people that have scheduled sessions with me, and I really appreciate it. We've been having a great time learning. It needs to break now this second trend line right here. You see that? If it breaks that second leg breakdown, this actually is going to have some very good legs to go higher. Guys, it's actually burning up some overhead right here. It's got a lot of overhead. That's overhead. This is overhead. Right now, it's burning up this overhead right now. A little bit of overhead through here, too. But so it's burning up that overhead, but this could easily have a move into this area right around here where we're actually looking at probably about this 32 range for you. End up making your next resistance in about 37, then about 42, right? So that's what you're looking at on that. Honestly, I think the weekly actually is the one that you want to look at on that. But I will take a look at this on a day trade basis, give you your pre-market high and your pre-market low. So your pre-market high is... Give me there. Your pre-market high is 26. We'll call it 26. Your pre-market low is 26. Pre-market high right here, 25.9. The pre-market low is right here. Oh, 25.78. Yeah, so 25.9. It's a tight range. Look at that range. It's a 20-point range. Okay. You get above this number, you can take it long, okay? You can at least take it long. You know what? You could go ahead and begin averaging into this thing right now, I think. I think it's put in a base, and I do think it's going to go higher. So, you know what? It's a very easy, it's a low risk, low reward play, honestly, the way I see it. HIMS. Let's take a look at HIMS on this time frame chart. Let's look at HIMS basically right near on the 15-minute. It's putting in a bear flag right now. So if it doesn't hold that... If it does not hold this bear flag, all right, you're in trouble, right? So there's your bear flag right there. So if it does not hold that bear flag, if you get down below this number right here, you get below that number, I always forget which way to take. You below that number, you're going to actually take this thing shorter, okay? But I do think that eventually Tim's has been a loved stock. You know, you might want to give this the 3-day rule, you know, that a lot of people talk about a 3-day rule after earnings, and maybe look to possibly get in on this. This one here would be, if it actually can break lower, give me a second leg, even a third leg lower, I would love to actually sell some puts against this and then use that money that from the premium to go ahead and buy some longer dated calls. I do kind of believe in the HIMS story, but you know what? We'll see what happens with HIMS. All right, that's HIMS on the scalp. We already went over HIMS, I think, on a longer term. Palantir, that's interesting. Let's look at Palantir. Guys, I think I had a chance where I made it, through some of your stocks today. I'm very happy about that. So tell me if you liked the new format that I ended up using today. So we got to go longer on on Palantir first. So Palantir is in an uptrend, right? Let's see how I got this fib right here. Let's pull this fib now from the last impulse move. You see this right here? This is my last impulse move right here, right? So moving up from here, you could actually take it from there, but actually lost that. But I'd like to see the impulse move from there. And yeah, that's about it. Because otherwise I'm looking at this that ABC move right there. And that looks like that was actually an ABC move that actually held on the 161.8 move, right? So let's take a look. Let's move this now. Let's activate this. We're going to actually going to delete it and pull my own fib, right? Let's pull a new fib on this. I want to get some fib numbers. You could almost take it from that same low right there, but I'm going to take it from here. That was the most recent impulse move to right here. You see that, guys? 61.8. If it loses this at 61.8, this is really an important area of support right here. 120. 120 is the number. Look at that spike off the 120. Look at these spikes off the 120. Look how that was resistance and became support. Became support, became support. You lose the 120, you're probably coming all the way back down. You're coming back down into this area for sure. Will you test the 76.8? Maybe. But a lot of times, if you lose that 61.8, you come all the way back to the previous bottom. It'll be a triple leg. It'll be a triple bottom right here, possibly. So Palantir is in trouble. Palantir has got to hold that 120. But if it holds the 120, then this is actually nothing more than a pullback on a longer time frame play out. So this could be a very low risk, high reward play. You actually pull your trend line right down through there, put in your stop loss, down underneath here. And then, you know what? Also watch for this move where they love to take you under, take you over, take you under, take you over and whip it up. Okay. Watch for that, which is a kind of a liquidity grab. All right, guys, it's now 9:02, so I'm going to end it. What I want to end it on, let's go back to the SPY, and let's just do a quick overview about what are we looking at right now in the SPY, and how did this market actually play out with the CPI, okay? And what was the reaction to the CPI? Right now, the market is bullish until otherwise said. Let's look at it on the hourly time frame chart. So the market's bullish. We're in a buy the dip mentality, but will the pre-market traders pay for this move right here? It broke out of a little bit of a consolidation wedge right through here. You got yourself a nice hammer candle on the hourly. There's your 2-minute low right there. Here's your 2-minute high. It's got to hold the 2-minute high, you guys. It's got a downward trending 20-period moving average. It also has this 738 here on the top, okay? So watch this, okay? Watch it on the open. Don't just get out in front of yourself. Let's give this thing a little bit of a chance to settle down. And then let's look over here on the 15-minute before we actually let you go. Remember, Trump is going to China tomorrow. China plays might actually be something to actually get in front of. Is BABA a play? Are we going to look for a second leg breakout on this? Look at this. What if this thing decides to actually now come back in? If it actually does like this, here's, say, for example, this is a candle, that's a candle, that's a candle, it comes back in. Then what are you looking at? Then maybe you're looking at a second leg break. Whoops, let me get this. Always go the wrong way. Second leg breakout on this. And then maybe for today, we continue to be bullish. Guys, you're bullish until the market actually can get up under these numbers. If it doesn't go underneath this number right here, if it does not go under that number, you need to be bullish. It's a buy the dip mentality. That's your number right there, 735, 38, 735, 44. Basically in this area, you got a trend line. You got the middle of the zone. You got your pre-market low. You got a pivot low. You got all kinds of numbers right here. It's got to hold that number. But if it doesn't hold that number, then we're probably going to actually go back a little bit and fade the rip a little bit more. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great day. Appreciate you. Make lots of money. Okay.